Hello and welcome to the 6th Dinocast. This is for December 2021. I am Shaun, and I am here with Adam.
Yo!
And I am here with Jason.
I'm here.
And as always, we're going to go through the upcoming month's Games of Gold. We're going to go through last month's Games of Gold. In fact, I'm going to take another run at that. Professional. We're going to have a look at the upcoming month's Games of Gold. We're going to have a look at last month's Games of Gold. We're going to talk about what other games we've been playing, and we're going to talk about whatever else comes to mind, and what we've been watching. And it'll all descend into nonsense, and then there'll be secret words at the end, and it's a whole thing. So, Jason, if you wouldn't mind taking it away, what are the upcoming month's Games with Gold?
Hello. The Games with Gold for December 2021 are The Escapists 2, Tropico 5, Orcs Must Die, and Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. So let's start with The Escapists 2. So first thing, the previous Escapist game was part of Games with Gold October 2016. I downloaded it, and I never played it.
Same.
Yeah. I understand it's a strategy, role-playing puzzle game. You have to escape a series of increasingly difficult prisons, and I think there's multiple methods of escape, I believe. Have either of you played either of them?
I watched some of Prison Break. Does that count?
I think that's halfway there.
I don't understand why that show got so massively popular.
Not even the first season? I'm not an expert. I watched the first couple of episodes, I think, but I heard it was good. It's not this game.
I really liked the main guy Wentworth Willer when he came over and was Captain Cold in The Flash.
I missed that episode.
He was in quite a few of them. Does any of this help give an impression on the Escapists?
I've not played either of them. I don't know. We'll find out this month. Adam, have you played either of these games, or do you have a coherent point to make?
I have indeed. I have played the first Escapist games, and I absolutely loved it. Basically, you start in your cell, pretty much, and your objective is to keep the rules of the prison in terms of you got to go for your meal time on the correct time, you got to go to your job if you've got a job at the correct time, you got to do everything at the correct time, otherwise the guards come after you, beat you with their bats, and you wake up all dazed in your prison cell, and you've lost any item, or I think it's only a couple of items that you've managed to loot and gain. During this process, you have to search around for items to escape with, and certain items combine with other items that combine together, and you've got to find the way out, basically. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. In order to get a job, just for example, you can beat up another character before their job so that they miss their time on the job. So then that job becomes available, and then you can grab that job. And then each job you can find an item in, kind of like that. And if Escapist 2 is anything like that, then this is going to be a blast, because I do know that this is multiplayer, this one. So, this should actually be a lot of fun.
Yep, we'll definitely have to have a bit of a go of it together and see what shakes out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's my idea. I think I'd prefer to play this on my own to start with, just to learn at my own speed and not hinder you two while I get to grips with the basic mechanics. And then once I've got it down, then I'll play as a multiplayer. So I'll see you in March.
I would like to arrogantly parachute in with no training whatsoever and assume it's going to be fine.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Hence, I want to play on my own.
How quickly can I get a shiv?
That's quite early on, actually, because it's only 2 items as far as I remember. And you can.
Cool, I'm going to shiv Jason.
so you can pick them up
stuff
relatively
then, yeah?
easy. Yeah. Basically, the idea is there is a route to escape. I've only ever found one route of escape as well in each prison. That was in the previous Escapists. So I don't know if there was multiple. I have no idea, but you've got to combine certain items together to create your way out. So, for example, I think one of the on the first map, on the first prison, as you like, it's you've got to go through the air vent. In order to get the air vent open, you've got to make a tool in order to open the air vent. And that combines 2 items. So your first task, basically, is to find them 2 items. However, you have no clue about that when you enter the prison. It's a case of trial and error. You basically got to try stuff. The more you try, the more you find out. And you can be in the prison for absolutely ages, as I found out in the very first prison.
Okay. So it doesn't flash up.
There's not like a quote unquote death time limit kind of thing.
No, not as far as I know.
You just keep plugging away at it for as long as... What happens if you take like 6 months and your character gets released to prison for good behaviour? He's served his time.
As far as I'm aware, everyone's in here for a very long time, so although that would be quite funny to see a prisoner actually being released.
I hope, like the 18, they've been falsely accused of a crime they didn't commit, because otherwise you'd be setting some kind of serial killer out. You could be helping, like, a mass murderer come out and, like, cause some chaos.
You play it to your own
I don't know
morals.
if I like the sound of this now. They are surprisingly cute looking, and you should never trust surprisingly cute looking things, because they normally turn out for the worst.
Oh, that raises a question. So you're just looking to help... Unless you're playing multiplayer, it's just you that's escaping. You're not trying to create a full-on, like, walk out of all the prisoners. It's just you.
Yeah. Just you. And you've got to do it, obviously, without anyone realising, because as soon as they realise what you're up to, all your efforts, if you get caught, all your efforts go back to square one, and you lose most of your items. I think I was one night away from escaping on one of the prisons. All I had to do was execute my plan, but I ran and opened my cell door accidentally at the wrong time, and this prison guard was right outside, and I was like, oh, you are kidding me. So then you start the process of, well, all right, let's see if I can beat him up. So you try and beat him up, and then more guards come, and then more guards come, and then, it's just... back to square one. That's
Lovely.
a bitch. But I can tell you, if you're interested, this is available from December 1st to December 31st. It was first released on the 22nd of August 2017. The devs are Team 17 and Mouldy Tooth Studios. Lovely name. And published by Team 17. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you were to escape, you might want to go to a tropical island.
Oh, lovely segment.
Such as the one in Tropico 5, which is a construction and management sim. It starts in the Victorian era, moves forward, and your aim is to stay in power. I feel like we just had Tropico 4, but that was back in May. We've got another go in it now, but with co-op and multiplayer.
Ooh.
It doesn't really interest me, I'm sorry. It's fine. If I was home for an extended period, like in a lockdown situation, I might give it enough time to get used to it and enjoy it. But with my crazy life of non-stop shenanigans, it's not really pulling me in at the moment.
Yeah, this is not, I'll tell you from experience, this is not a great kind of game to make a video around. Because it takes, the video for Tropico 4 that I recorded for, that was all in the tutorial, so I didn't feel I got to show off a lot that was particularly interesting or how zany and crazy the game could get. But on the other hand, I played it for like 2 hours to get the footage I got. And I wasn't going to play it for like another 10 to get something interesting to make a video from. So on that side of things, it's not ideal. But yeah, it's not my kind of game anyway, so it doesn't really... it's not that I'm not interested.
Sounds like it.
I might be more interested in this than the previous one because this one has a time travel element. Well, not actually a time travel element.
Does it? I got excited then.
It appears the time periods progress as you go on. and you're building your little fiefdom or empire or whatever it is. So that could be quite cool. As you get later in the timeline, you'll unlock obviously different ways of building and different things you can build and newer things. Eventually cars will come in and all this kind of nonsense. So it could be like a really fun long-term planning thing, or it could just be like these games normally are for me, which is I have fun for several hours, then the difficulty ranks up and I lose patience and go and play something else. Who knows? But it's free, so I'll definitely give it a go.
Lovely.
Yeah, this seems a bit more interesting to me than the previous Tropico 4. Purely because and I'm purely talking by the trailer here that I'm looking at, it looks like this goes a bit more in depth with the whole building aspect, and it looks like you can zoom in a lot closer to your actual town, city, what you're building. So that might actually interest me a bit more, but I'll definitely be giving it a go. Yeah, for sure.
But what about Orcs Must Die? Oh no, hang on.
Sorry.
What I really want to know is who made this game? When did it come out? Stuff like that.
Sorry, I thought you wanted to say a little bit about it. I do apologise.
I've said all I'm going to say.
Fair enough. So this is available.
We can start again if you like. We just keep going round and round and round. Jason, what are your thoughts? I'll give my second round of thoughts.
Do you know what? This is actually really growing on me now. I quite fancy Tropico 5. Even Tropico 6 is really pulling me in. Looking for that. A couple of months.
Yeah, I'll probably be. Okay, so this is available from December 16th to January the 15th. It was first released on 23rd of May 2014. The devs are Haemimont Games, published by Calypso Media.
Now, a minute ago, I said Orcs Must Die. That's a bit violent.
I did.
We can discuss this later. But there's a game that's called Orcs Must Die. It's a third-person action. Actually, I'm going to say that not doing a bad Sean Connery impression. It's a third-person action tower defense game. I thought it could be fun till I heard the term tower defense, and I thought, not really my thing. But I did enjoy the Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, so maybe. It probably comes down to how well it controls and whether I find it amusing. But I will give it a go and hope to be wowed.
Cool. This is not going to be my kind of thing, but I'll definitely give it a go. Because again, I liked Plants vs Zombies when we played it. I don't have a high tolerance for it. I'm not going to pretend that it's one of my favourite games, but I enjoyed playing enough when we did.
Yeah.
But most importantly, when you watch the trailer, did you notice anything?
No, I noticed nothing.
No, not a clue.
What are you talking about?
That architecture
Uh-huh.
looks exactly like some of the stuff from We Were Here. And I wonder if they've not purchased the same assets. Because there's a bit where they're going around a medieval looking tunnel and there's like a chandelier, like a lighting thing, like chandelier thing with loads of candles on, and like some of the walls, the way they curve and the way they and the coloration, it really looked exactly like We Were Here. So I can't think of any way I can prove that, but I'm pretty sure they're using the same assets. So that's immediate big tick from me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that reminds me of We Were Here is good. Yeah, but I saw the gameplay on this in the trailer. It looks, it doesn't look like Plants vs Zombies, but it looks more finicky. Like the bit I saw, the guy had like a great big square of spikes he was moving in front of him to place down and stuff. It's not so like Plants vs Zombies integrated it quite well. You could lay a trap and you could see him lay it and how it laid. Whereas in this, it just looked like, I've just got a giant kind of see-through block that I can place at any point and it just magically appears. But yeah, I'll give it a go. It's not going to be my cup of tea, but I'll certainly give it a go. Going with an open mind. It looks cute anyway.
Oh,
and like We Were Here.
Oh, nice. Well, I quite like tower defense games, and this sort of reminded me a bit of Dungeon Defenders. Don't know if you've ever played that. And yeah, just the whole way you lay the traps down, and then the way you're fighting the enemies. Yeah, and I really like that game, so I'm looking forward to this one. But if you are interested, December 1st to December 15th, Orcs Must Die. And it was first released from 5th of October 2011. The devs are Robot Entertainment, also published by Robot Entertainment. So, yeah.
Nice. The final game for this month is Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet.
Yay!
I didn't say it properly. Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet.
I retract my yay, which is merely the same backwards as forwards.
Oh, I like the title. I like the look of it. It's a 2D shooter puzzle game.
Yeah,
looks
it is.
nice. Looks quite beautiful in a simplistic way. It appeals to me aesthetically. I'm looking forward to it. But I know very little about it. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is the one I'm looking forward to. It looks like a super shooty, slightly bullet helly. It's described as a 2D platformer, but it looked like you were in a ship floating between the areas in the trailer I saw.
That's the impression
anyway, looks super fun. Really, really, really pretty to look at. This is probably going to be the one that this is certainly going to be the one that I play the most of, and it's probably going to be the one I complete. Really looking forward to it.
Nice. Yeah, I quite like these types of shooter puzzle games. Can't see why I wouldn't enjoy this. It's probably not going to rock my world, but I shall definitely be giving it a go. And this one is available from December 16th to December 31st. It was released on the 3rd of August 2011, and the devs are Shadow Planet Productions, published by Xbox Game Studios. So it's one of theirs.
Ooh.
So yeah.
And that was the Games of Gold for December.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Yay! But we're not done yet, because we still need to speak about the Games of Gold for November. Even though we've made videos for them, we're still going to talk about them in intricate and excruciating detail. So buckle in, because we're starting with Moving Out. Guys, what did you think?
Well, now you've said intricate detail, my initial reaction is just to go, it's all right. But no, it's a very fun game. It's a nice challenges, nice difficulty. I can't speak. Start that again. Very fun game. Nice oh, for feck.
You know this
Cut
is
this,
staying in.
scrap
Right?
this, start it again. I know it is. It's a very fun game. It's got nice challenges, a nice difficulty curve, which is a thing I cannot say. It's very difficult, that difficulty curve. I only played it on my own, so I didn't get involved in the multiplayer, which we all said was probably going to be the way it should be played. So it could be even more enjoyable. I had fun. Nice little touches that made me feel like they cared about it, make it a nice cohesive world. It wasn't just like a wacky game with odd characters just relying on the physics to make it fun. It was they put some effort in. I will go back.
Yeah, I echo what Jason said. Like, the difference between this and completely unreliable delivery service, whatever the fuck it was called.
Totally.
The level of care and craft put into everything you do in this, and the various ways it can be done, and the way the obstacles are set out, I found very, very compelling. I haven't had a chance to go back to it yet, but unlike a lot of the games we get on Games of Gold, it's not been deleted off my Xbox, so it is one I fully intend to go back to. And I plan to play a lot more of this one. I found it charming as heck. I really liked the mechanics. I liked the way it felt when you're dragging things around. When you're carrying stuff you can throw, you can move quite quickly, and that changes when you're pulling stuff. And I like the way that the objects interact with each other. It had a really nice feel that was felt like each different item had a different weight to it.
Yes.
Without feeling like just some items were slower than others. It had more going for it than just this makes you slower. So yeah, I appreciate it very much. I look forward to going back to it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys on this one. I love moving out. It's still on my Xbox. I've gone back to it 2 or 3 times recently, actually. And the levels progress. Like, the level gets harder the more houses you do. So I quite like that aspect. It introduces certain aspects later on. So I think by the 6th level, it introduces the whole water aspect, that you can't jump in the water, basically. Your character doesn't swim, apparently. So, yeah, you have to find ways to throw it over. And I find that the point at which you throw matters, and as Sean said, the weight matters as well. So you can't like pick up a sofa and throw that. So I think that would ruin it if you could. And even how you fit it into the truck kind of matters as well. The further you go on. So I'm thumbs up on that one. Lovely game.
Yeah. Like, it's very much going to be a case of, as you get later, you need to look around the building to decide what you're going to load into the van first.
Yeah.
Stop you running out of space and so on. Yeah, very well constructed game. Moving on, Rocket Knight. I didn't intend that. Rocket Knight. That was a 2D platformer with mild combat and shooting elements. What did you guys think of that one?
I thought it was a pretty solid game. Nice platformer. Gave me like a retro nostalgic feeling, despite the fact I'd never played it. It was a fun adventure. It wasn't outstanding by any means, but any other month it might have been possibly the favourite, because it played quite well. But I thought November overall was a pretty good month, so it was just another tick in the box of things to do. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, yeah, it's all right.
Fair enough. Adam?
Yeah, I enjoyed it for the amount I played it. Basically, when I downloaded it, I got to play it for about half hour max. And I enjoyed it, but then I got a problem with my Xbox. For some reason, it had a problem with the backwards compatibility games. It would throw me out of the games completely. Nothing to do with the game, completely to do with my Xbox and how I will chuck it out the window. But other than that, what I played of it, it was fun. It's not gonna, blow my mind or anything like that, I don't think. But what I played of it, it was a good fun little game.
Cool. Well, we got this just before we recorded a podcast, and I had the next day off, so I literally beat it the next day while editing the podcast. It took a couple hours. It was all right. It was very lightweight. I liked quite a lot of the character designs and quite a lot of the animations. But by the end of the first flying segment, you've seen largely all the game has to offer. I mean, some of the bosses towards the end are a lot of fun. It gets more challenging, but I felt largely like I just walked through the entire game. It was very, very short and very, very easy. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I enjoyed my time with it, but I'll never play it. I never feel the need to play it again. I've done it now, so that's my thoughts on that one. Overall, quite positive, but very lightweight.
Sums it up.
Nice.
And now we move on to...
What's it going to be?
Kingdom Two Crowns.
Aha.
I had to find its name in the list because the thing I'm looking for has it listed as Deadlands, which we got confused about. Kingdom Two Crowns. Jason, what do you think?
I went into this thinking this is not my cup of tea at all. But lo and behold, it was. I liked it. It was a surprise hit. Yes, to sum it up, very basic. You ride from left to right, throwing coins at stuff. And thus a kingdom is born. Each time I played it, I got sucked in for ages of just doing a bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and I'll just upgrade that a bit more, and I'll just add a bit more to that. I'll throw some coins at that. And then before you know it, it's gone dark, and you've got 26 missed calls saying, where are you? And I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's a strangely addictive game, which on the face of it hasn't got much to offer, but actually is quite deep, I think. At least compared to what I usually do. I really enjoyed it. I have gone back, and I will go back again. I've even started a new game without finishing the first one, but I have started a new game to do it better because I learned some tricks and went back and did it again. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to this one much, I will admit. And so much so that I hadn't played it up until today when we recorded this. So, and I turned it on maybe about an hour before this podcast, I will admit, and I played it for about 20 minutes thinking, that'll do. Little did I know, sort of an hour went by and I was all of a sudden late for this podcast. So I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the simplicity of it, but at the same time you can go really in depth with it with the mechanics and what you can do. And it's a case of like you'll pick up coins as you go through, which you use to buy certain things, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, I'll just build this tower, yeah, and then I'm done. You build the tower and all of a sudden you'll pick up another couple of coins and you think, oh yeah, I can upgrade this now. So then you'll go and upgrade that, and it just goes on. And I found it very addictive, very, very addictive, and I will be going back to it. So it's a big thumbs up from me.
I can only echo what these guys say. This is the one I've gone back to several times because it is perfect. I don't play a lot of games where I can pop in for 5 minutes or so. If I'm sitting down to play something, I want to sit down and play it for a couple of hours normally. Yeah. But I've not had a lot of time to game. So this and, was it Aero, the light game from last month?
Yeah.
Those are the two I've kicked on when I've had 5-10 minutes. What I'm going to add was this game, like the other guys, didn't expect anything from this. I was very, very quickly charmed by the art style in this. Like, yeah. I like a pixelated, old school looking game anyway. But I think this this isn't just a case of, hide maybe the lack of budget in pixelated art. A lot of effort has gone into making these graphics look really nice and varied. I'm on the second or third island now, and there's a lot of things still popping up that I've not exactly seen before, and it's really nice because I was expecting this to just be the throwaway one, and the more I play it, the more I'm charmed, and like I'm not trying to beat this. I'm just enjoying swung around being a king and just kind of chucking a coin here and maybe, this tree offends me. Gentlemen, come on, knock it down. And then just swanning back and just hiding when the gremlins come out at night and that. No, I think this is really, I'd say this is actually better than the sum of its parts and way better than I ever expected it to be. So massive thumbs up from me on Kingdom 2 Crowns. I'm going to keep playing it, and I've got to be honest, if I keep enjoying it as much as I have so far, I'm going to buy the DLC and play more of it. I'm going to buy Deadlands.
Well,
if I have to buy it.
I'm going to tell you something. That's included in the one you've already got. You just have to move to the right on the menu screen, and you've got Deadlands.
Delightful.
You've also got Shogun something or other.
That's a third and indeed a fourth thumbs up from me. Somehow.
Told you, surprise hit.
Finally, we have Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. What do you guys think of that?
I'll take this one. I didn't play it. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm sure it's a great game. I didn't play it not out of choice. I didn't play it because I thought I had a week left to play it before we did this recording. Apparently, no, we're going to release the new games early. So I do still intend to play it. However, I haven't played it yet. I presume it plays like most Lego games and possibly some Batman games. I will leave it to you to entice me back. Please
like
entice
other
me.
Lego Batman games.
Yes.
Yeah, I played it. I haven't gone through it in depth yet, but it very much felt like other Lego games, and it's a Lego game. It's free. You're going to enjoy it. Yeah, this thumbs up. Lego games are always a thumbs up for me. It's, loads of collecting, loads of loot, and yeah, good game.
True that. When I had to make the last Lego Batman video, the Lego Killer Moth video, I had to plug in my old Xbox 360, and at that point I realised you can go in and manually sync all your saves. So downloaded this, was very pleased to just load it straight up. My 100% completed file is already there, ready and waiting for me to just leap back in, make a second video that will be out soon, and I didn't have to play through the whole bloody thing again, because I really, really enjoy these games. Like, I really liked 1 and 2. I think 3 is a lot weaker in the story and the scenario area. But 1 and 2 are really, really fun games. This brings in the open hub world, where there's tons of stuff to do outside of the main missions, along with mini missions and stuff like that. Whole host of extra new characters and stuff. So yeah, it's a Lego game. What more do you need to say? You know what a Lego game is. You like them or you don't. This one's got Batman in it, and Superman, and a bunch of other things, and Killer Moth. So it's awesome. Go play it.
I'm sold.
It's free. Actually, the Dinocast is out on the 1st of December, so I hope you've already downloaded it. If you're waiting for us to tell you whether to download it or not, oh crap, I'm sorry. We've failed you.
I might have even played it by now. Who knows?
So has anyone been watching anything interesting? No, moving on. Right, so has anyone been drinking anything interesting? Eating anything interesting? Did anyone see something shiny?
So I'm on way something the other day, and I think I've got time to eat quickly at McDonald's. So I pop in and I get myself a festive chicken burger. Right? Really nice, actually. While I'm in there, there's a guy who is a fully grown adult. He's sitting opposite me, and I kind of watched him at the side of my eye for 15 minutes pick his nose and eat it.
Oh!
Over and over. And it was like snot on his finger dribbling out, and then he would put his finger in his mouth and go, oh! And he was quite a noisy eater as well. And he just kept doing it, and I was just trying to make eye contact with somebody else to say, are you seeing this? Are you seeing what he's doing? And nobody else was looking at him.
I feel slightly ill.
It's really annoying me. How do you think I feel? I was trying to eat me a festive burger.
I know a horrible, interesting fact about that. Apparently, it helps you lose weight.
Well, yeah, because you're not eating a fucking sandwich, you're eating bogies. I imagine it's mostly protein.
He was eating a massive dinner as well.
Maybe that was like the sauce. He doesn't like mustard.
Oh, no. That's how I don't usually gag at things, but that's the closest I've ever come to gagging at someone else doing something.
Yeah, I don't blame you. How are you finding getting in there now that it's all kind of boarded up?
That's it. So I'm at McDonald's, and it's boarded up, but they're now letting you in. Before it was drive-through, now you park in the nearby car park and walk through and use all the machines. So everyone can go inside and eat inside and press the machines inside and queue up.
It looks like they're getting just absolutely no customers now.
It's rammed. I've been in there embarrassingly 3 times in the last week, and they have been rammed. I did it again today. That's why I've had 3. I have had a festive burger because it's Christmas now. You know, I've had the festive chicken burger.
That's meant to be really expensive.
I've had another festive chicken burger today.
Expensive. Not like nice or anything. It's just that's meant to be pricey as fuck. Look, it's Ebenezer Jason over here with his fancy gold-plated festive burger.
Today I had the festive chicken burger with chips. This is a large meal, sorry, with a toffee latte, which is extra cost on top of your meal. And also I had the limited edition festive pie. And that, with a top-up to go to Children in Need, to the nearest coin, came out as £9. So, yes, reasonably expensive, but with a pie and a full large meal.
Because you got a dessert in that, yeah.
For McDonald's, expensive, yes. It's actually quite cheap, but yeah.
On the note of the drinking, it won't take long. During one of our Dinocast recordings, months ago, Shaun said, hey, there's this beer thing you can get, they'll deliver beer to your house and it'll be great.
Beer 52.
And I wasn't going to say what it was, but yeah, we'll get it for a month and we can cancel it. And I said, I will get it, but I'll forget to cancel it. We're now 4 months in. I've got 4 big boxes of beers in my living room now. I've drunk 2 of them in all that time. I should probably apparently you can defer it for a month, so I might do that and see what happens. And they're coming in different sizes, so yes, I now have lots of beer, which
well, if you defer it for a month, they'll just send you another one in a month.
Well, yeah, but apparently you can keep deferring it, but then you keep your. It's like a game. You got because you just cancel. You could just cancel, but then you lose your your chain. What's he call it in a game? Yeah, it's claims bonus. It's
your loyalty points.
Loyalty points.
But you're giving them £30 a month for something you don't want.
But I will have it at some point. At some point in the future, there'll be no pandemic, and I will go to a party or have a party, and I will drink the beer, or it'll be New Year's Eve or something, and I'll be on my own in my own filth. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Anyway, that's the game I'm currently playing.
Oh, well, on the Beer 52 thing, it's actually on again at the minute. So Beer 52/Wrestle Talk. It's one of my favourite wrestling podcasts. I'm helping them with their subscriber number here, if anyone's listening to this. But yeah, sign up for the link. I think you get an extra couple of cans. You get a whole 3 months cans. It's like £5 postage. You just got to phone up before the end of the next month to cancel again. I did it, and my thought with it, and the reason I hadn't done it before is I don't like gambling. I'm not a gambler. They call him Gambler! No, that's an old Simpsons reference. I'm not a gambler. So when I got it, for £5, I really liked 8 of these beers, but I'd say 4 of them I'd probably pick to actually pay for. So when you think about it, over the £30, that's... If there's only 4 I would genuinely be happy to have paid for, then that makes the cost per beer, the ones that you actually care about, a lot higher than it would be otherwise. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. So it's not a case of... Because, the other ones weren't nice enough, but I could be drinking Lost Lager, which I normally drink, or Hop House 13 or Asahi, and be just as happy. So I could only look at it through the thing of, well, I wouldn't have paid this much for the cans that I got, and I would have got what I normally got, which I probably would have liked a bit more. But these ones were really good, so that's the way I see the gamble working out. Because otherwise, if you're looking at it explicitly as, okay, I got 10 beers for £30, or would have got 10 beers for £30, well, that's £3 a beer. That's still actually a bit more than I'm currently paying anyway. And I like the idea of tasting them, but I don't like putting my money forward to gamble on the taste of them. Was my thought. But otherwise, the service was fine.
Yeah, just think of it as going to a beer festival in your house.
It's good service. Absolutely.
And to prove we're not sponsored by them, the other issue I've got with them is it's delivered
Well, I
by...
told them to go to Wrestle Talks link for a start.
Yeah. Delivered by Hermes most of the time. And the first time they said, right, what day do you want it delivered? So I told them what day I wanted it delivered because I had that day off. Didn't come on that day. And ever since then, it just means that once a month I'll get a text or some sort of message while I'm at work saying, we're delivering this today while you're not here. Thanks. So far, it has got to me each month as far as I'm aware. But yeah, that's always a little worry every month that someone else is getting my beer.
That you're not drinking.
I'm not drinking. But anyway,
bringing the podcast back.
No.
So sort of on track. I have been watching something slightly interesting. So being a
We'll
dad,
be the judge of that.
yeah, being a dad, you go through these stages of introducing your children to the classic movies that they have to watch in order to live their life. And one of those came along as it is Christmas time, and it was Home Alone. So he'd never watched
Really
Home Alone
hoped you were going to
before.
say Die Hard there.
I also interject. Is it Christmas time? Is it really?
It's getting
No,
there. It's
not
getting
even
there.
fucking December
It's
yet.
getting there. Christmas
The
songs
weather
are
outside
playing
is
on
not
harp.
frightful. The fire is nice, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it's delightful. There are places to go, and it's not snowing.
It's getting there. So, I introduced him to Home Alone. As I'm searching through
Genuinely a good movie.
Netflix to bring this movie up, I find out that there's a hell of a lot more than just the Home Alones 1 and 2 that I initially thought there was. Any guesses
Oh, yeah.
as
Definitely
to
seen
how many Home Alones there are now without searching on your computers?
I saw
6.
a thing about it recently, and I believe there are 4.
Jason's correct with 6. Did you look?
6?
No, I assumed it was
Oh.
4, and then when you said I won't guess it, I said 6. Because that sounds about reasonable. I definitely heard there being 4.
I thought there was 1 and 2 with Doodad McDoodad.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
And then
yeah.
there was
Kevin
another
McAllister.
one that was basically a like a weird spy thing.
Yeah.
Where like the kid and his sisters
Did that have
their
Scarlett
parents are
Johansson in
spies
that?
or something.
I've got to look this up.
And
now.
then there was like a direct-to-TV movie. That's what I thought it was. So do enlighten us
Well,
on the apparently vast history of Home Alone.
so I shall try. So obviously there is the original
She
Home
was.
Alone and the Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. They're pretty much as good as each other in my opinion. Pick whatever one you like best. But
one.
then there
See,
is.
I would argue that 2 is nowhere near as good as 1. And
Oh.
then I remember Tim Curry's in it. I'm like, oh no, they're equally good. Tim
Yeah,
Curry
yeah.
is just the best.
Yeah.
But isn't
Well-
Donald Trump also in it, I believe?
He is.
There you go.
For a split second, because
Oh.
funny enough about that, he really wanted to be in the movie, so he basically forced his way pretty much onto set and insisted he be in the movie. So instead of
And that is also how he became president.
yeah,
It works.
instead of turning him away and creating loads of trouble, they just gave him this little tiny part within the hotel, and Macaulay Culkin goes up to him and goes, where do I sign in? Where's the sign-in desk? And he points to the sign-in desk. So then there is Home Alone 3, and it's just called Home Alone 3. That is with a different kid, a whole different cast, other than Tim Curry. I believe he is still in it.
Nice.
Then
I'm looking
there
at the
is-
cast now.
So is that
He's
is
not-
that a different family, or have they recast Kevin and his family?
No, different family. Different family.
Okay.
And it's pretty much the same storyline. There's slight differences, but it's pretty much the same storyline. Home Alone 4, I haven't seen. Taking Back the House. Home Alone.
Back the house.
No, that was an
Yeah.
Ali G movie, I'm sure.
Then there's Home Alone: The
That has
Holiday
got straight
Heist.
to video sequel written all over
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Take it back to house.
Oh, hang on. Home Alone 4? Kevin McAllister sets out on a new adventure. So it's the same family in that one.
That one it is, yes, I believe it is. Sort of. I think
It's not Macaulay
there's
Culkin,
some
though.
different characters and stuff like that. Home Alone, The Holiday Heist, and then there is Home Sweet Home Alone.
It's like the Die Hards where they get into increasingly ridiculous puns.
Yeah.
Like, it may be a terrible movie, but the last one is called... I think the last one was called A Good Day to Die.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, Good Day to
Fuck,
Die
I
Hard.
love that. That's amazing. Shit movie, but love the pun.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have the puns. The interesting thing I found out about this, and I don't know all the names off by heart, so please don't ask, but
I will.
each Home Alone movie has at least one of the original cast in it. And the last one I watched, which I think was The Holiday Heist, had Buzz in it. The brother, he plays a cop, and he's in it for about 20 minutes, if that.
Well, if we're including the 20-odd kids that only appeared in like 2 scenes, then yes, I will go with that. That makes sense.
Well, I was going to say, like, I kind of assumed, like, the other robber was in it. There's, like, the one who's... It's not Joe Pesci. Is it Joe Pesci?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So the other one, I kind of assumed he might come back for...
I don't think he has. Since Home
He's doing
Alone
really
2,
well.
he hasn't been in it.
I'm sure he has, but he's not Joe Pesci, is my point.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm looking at a still from number 4, and it's 2 crooks who look like they're supposed to be the same ones, but they're definitely not the same ones. One's female for a start, but they look like the same 2, just slightly altered.
So yeah, there is I think there is this running theme of trying to at least get one of the original cast in each of the Home Alones, and now they are talking about, or the fans are trying to talk about, when is there going to be a Home Alone 7?
I think they're rebooting it, aren't they? Because what's his name? Macaulay Culkin's done a few things online saying, "Do you know what? People want me to do a new Home Alone where I'm like nearly 40 and they leave me home alone and it's kind of fine and I'm up for it." And I'm like, do you know what? I would watch that movie.
Yeah,
I would absolutely watch that movie.
I would.
I would watch that movie if he's the one he's the dad now. He books the holiday and he sends them off and doesn't tell them he's not going to go with them, and then he's just chilling out.
With the crooks, they've just become friends over time.
Yeah.
He's sitting there smoking some weed and having some beers and watching cable.
Sounds
That'd be amazing.
perfect Christmas.
Yeah. So with that in mind, everyone, get thinking of your top 5 favourite Christmas movies, because that can be a category in our Christmas special.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant now. Jesus Christ. Okay.
No. We'll do it. And we can also, that's a little tease for you guys. Yes, there will be a Christmas special, as we do every year. There will be a year in review special, as we do every year. So you can look forward to and or dread those, as is your preference.
So, just to add onto this, in the whole, is there a Home Alone 7? I've just done a very quick search. Home Alone 7, full name, Home Alone 7, The Winter to Summer Plot.
That's
is
awful.
The second...
That is not good.
is the second unmade film of the legacy, continues part of the franchise.
I'm reading the same thing you are, and that is from homealonebeyond.fandom.com. People also ask.
Yeah.
Wiki. So that's you might as well be on. What's that?
So who
Yahoo
knows
one?
if that's true? Who knows if that's true? But yeah, great film all the same.
Okay.
The first one.
The
and
first
the second one.
and the second one. The others are just
Jason.
a laugh.
Yes.
Have you been watching anything? Because I'm going to fucking knock that out of the park in a second.
I know you are, so I'll get on and say I have been watching The Outlaws, which is a BBC One. Suppose it's a sitcom. It's like a comedy drama thing. Stephen Merchant, Christopher Walken, and basically,
Hello there.
I would describe it as, and they kind of pick up on this in the first episode. It's kind of like The Breakfast Club in a sense. It's a group of different stereotypes, who have all committed some sort of offence, and they're put into community service together. And it's that sort of Stephen Merchant, sort of Ricky Gervais comedy, where kind of about now it's mostly serious, but there's just funny elements, and some of the characters are a bit weird. So it's mostly plays a straight drama, but with some humorous overtones. And then you've got Stephen Merchant just being awkward, and another couple of characters being a bit funny and like the comedy aspects. But most of it is just really this sort of gangster drug plot that's going on, and some money being stolen, swapped around. It's sort of like a lock, stock plot device, really, while these people were there. And then you've got, I don't know, like 6 or 7 characters, and one of them's clearly a very right-leaning white middle-aged male, and then there's got a very sort of angry black woman far-left person. You've got Christopher Walken is like, he's been released from prison and he's on home arrest or something while he's not doing this community service, and it's about him reconnecting with his family. And you've got Stephen Merchant, who got caught with a prostitute, but he basically, nothing happened because he got arrested before anything happened, really. And there's a couple of other characters. Basically, I enjoyed it. It was one of those things I binged over about. Well, I found it was on iPlayer, and I watched the first 4 episodes without really thinking about it in one night, and then realised, they're probably releasing them all at once. Not at once. That's what I thought they were. And I thought, no, they're coming out once a week. So I waited a week, and then another 2 episodes are up. So I thought, it's clearly not once a week then. I don't know. Anyway, so I watched all of the episodes, and I enjoyed it. And if you like that sort of thing, if you like Stephen Merchant humour, then you'll probably like it. Thumbs up from me.
So you sure it's over, or might they just drop another couple episodes?
Oh, no, it's definitely over, that series. It ended as an ending should be, with a potential second season, which I believe is probably coming. But it tied up all the ends of that particular story plot. So that was good.
Nice.
But left it open enough for more.
Exactly.
Cool, cool.
What are you going to blow me out of the water with?
Yep, knock out of the park.
This is going to be in ascending order, okay? So this isn't... All of this is excellent, but it's going to end with the big one. So we're building to a finale. Oh. So I've been watching... Because I've been doing quite a lot of editing and stuff like that, I've been watching significantly more TV than I normally would. I'm basically done watching all the Dragon Ball, so that's out of the way. So I've actually been catching up with some other stuff. So I've been watching the TV series based on What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Which is absolutely fucking excellent. Adam, do you know what that is?
I've heard of it. Remind me.
Based on a movie. Basically, it's 4 vampires who live in a house, and it's done as like a mockumentary, and it's incredibly funny, and Matt Berry is one of them.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely superb. I binged through the first season while eating me dinner, because that's when I tend to eat shows. Nice little 20 minutes there. So I did that in a little over a week. I'm now into season 2, and it in no way... Like, the last episode I watched is as strong as the first episode I watched. I wouldn't say there's really been a bad one in the whole batch. In fact, there was one of the vampires is not like the others. He's like an energy vampire, so he kind of feeds off intense feelings, preferably more miserable ones. Right. And there's one where he slowly kind of starts becoming a god because he gets a promotion, and that's my favourite one so far. That was really, really funny, because he's just such this boring character, and he's always like the second tier below the other ones, and like watching him just become kind of a junkie and become all powerful was really, really fun. So I'm midway through... Well, I'm chunked through season 2 of that. I have blasted through season 1 and 2 of Doom Patrol. Now, if you haven't heard of this is based on a DC comic, which is my absolute jam. It's based on the Grant Morrison era.
Oh.
And essentially, it is a body horror comedy.
Okay.
I've never ever seen anything quite like this. Like, most of the first season is about how awful it is to be in the situation they're in, and them kind of coming to terms with the awful things that have happened to them, while also, again, being really, really funny and intentionally a comedy. But season 1 just starts perfectly. Do you guys know who Alan Tudyk is?
Yes.
No.
He is Wash from
He was Wash in
Firefly.
Firefly.
He was in that.
You
Lots
will
of things.
know him if you saw him. He's been in a hell of a lot of things.
Okay.
So basically the show starts with him narrating it, and he's the season villain, but he knows he's in a TV show. So he knows what he's putting these people through, and he's like actually crafting the story by telling the story. It's
Cheeky bugger.
it's a very clever idea, and it's very, very well done. And with the humor goes like, that's big concept humor. I was really into that. And there's also weird stuff like at the end of the first episode, he decides to torture the heroes by having a donkey fart. The gas comes up, envelops the entire local town, and draws that inside its anus, which then they have to go into and rescue the town. So it's got conceptual comedy and also really stupid fart humor as well. It runs an entire gamut, while also being very, very touching, very, very really strong characters. Quite surprised DC let them use Cyborg for it, because he's a character they were really pushing and trying to get taken seriously, and he does always have the more serious plot lines, but he can still bring the funny when he needs to. And then season 2, unlike pretty much anything I've seen of that kind of show before, and it took me a while to realise what they were doing, because they'd not really done anything like this before. So the first season ends with a bunch of revelations and stuff. And a lot of, if not most of the second season, is them coping with the trauma of that. So the first season is getting used to their new bodies, per se.
Yeah.
And then the second season is overcoming the traumas related to that. Like, one of them tries to reconnect with his family with unpleasant results because time has passed and this, that, and the other. Another has to deal with her relationship with her mother. Another one of them is a split personality, each personality having a different set of skills and powers, and she has to deal with the maelstrom of all these other people to get to the core of the girl that they all spawn from, and all this stuff. It's really, really thoughtful and cool stuff. Again, with some really, really dumb shit. Brendan Fraser plays a robot man. If you need any really base point, silly reason to it, everyone loves Brendan Fraser. He plays a sweary robot man.
I knew he was in it.
It's awesome.
And I'm looking at stills, and I didn't know which one he was. And now I thank you. I've now put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plays robot man, and he's absolutely hilarious.
I'm intrigued by this. This is not the show I thought it was. I don't know what I was thinking of. But
there's a reason. It's come out in 2018. There's a reason I've only just watched it. I didn't think this was going to be it. It's not. It's very, very specifically not a superhero team show. Like,
yeah, even the
at
cast
all.
photos are not what I would expect from the sort of thing I thought it was. This is very clearly a bit more fun, I think, and a bit. And there's, I don't know. It just looks like something I would want to watch. So I think I'm going to look this up.
Well, yeah, I very much brought it up on here in part because I think it'd be very much your cup of tea, Jay.
Excellent. And there's a lot of pictures of sort of Wizards of Oz style stuff. I don't know if that's relevant at all, but I'm now intrigued. Anyway, I'll have a look. I would definitely be checking it out. What else
Excellent.
have you been watching?
Well, Adam,
Yo.
I had an hour to kill on Friday evening, and I thought, let's have a look at this Squid Game thing everyone seems to be talking about. And I finished it last night. It's just great, isn't it? It's just really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you get to the end of episode 1 thinking, Okay, but I need to watch the next one.
Yeah, very like I went into it thinking this isn't really going to be anything I haven't seen before.
Right, yeah.
Because I have seen a few things like this. I've read a bunch of things like this, books and comics and this, that, and the other. You know, I've seen and read Battle Royale. And so I was sitting there going, well, as long as it's well done, then thing. But the characters were so... unlike pretty much everything I've ever seen of this type, right? Basically, whenever you get something like this, there's the put upon person who reluctantly has to be a part of it, and they make some friends and they kind of thing. I love the fact that in this, right from the start, pretty much everyone is acting like a human would do. Starting with the entire second episode, here is a spoiler. If you do not want anything spoiled, here is a spoiler. The entire second episode is everyone choosing to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you would do.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of people get killed, you didn't expect it. Of course you'd be like, I don't want to fucking do this.
Yeah.
So, and then it brings them round to why the characters that come back decide to come back. And, it was great. And, again, a little bit spoilery. I'm going to be vague here, but when you get to the glass bridge, they killed off a bunch of characters I really expected to be at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I knew what the end point of the season was going to be, and that completely threw us on its head. With still like two whole episodes to go.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I've had suspicions, but that's obviously the direction they're going. So how are they going to get to that point? And it was really fun seeing them get to that point, and then, the conclusion was excellent, incredibly satisfying. It's one of those things that it's. I don't want to give too of a spoiler, just in case anyone is listening to this and does want to watch it, but it ties up incredibly well. I really liked it. Really, the hype is warranted. It's a really solid show.
Yeah, for sure. Come out of left field for me, just complete left field.
I was expecting it to be more gory.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people, when I go to the cinema, when I start something on Netflix, I will always kick my my eye up to see why it's classified what it's classified.
Right, okay.
So if I see, strong bloody violence, gore and stuff, I'm normally pretty happy. I like... if I'm watching this kind of thing, because if I'm watching... the best way to put it is, there was a point in the mid-2000s where action movies started getting prevalent again. So you got Terminator, Salvation, I think it was, the one with Christian Bale, and you got The Expendables 2, and you got Taken 2, right? And all of those movies were, in large part, ruined for me by the studio going, we'll take out all the blood and gore and make it a 12A, because then kids can go watch it as well. And it utterly neutered the experience.
Okay.
I don't watch an action movie with guns to not see someone shot in the head and there be a bullet wound and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of people getting shot on screen in these things, and there's a little cloud of dust come out of them, and it just utterly takes me out of it, because that's not what I'm there for. I don't want to... Like, he may as well have punched him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to sound bloodthirsty or anything, because it's all fake. Like, none of it is real, but I'm there to get that kind of... I don't get the same kind of visceral, kind of blood-pumping action that you've got in John Wick when I watch a Spider-Man movie, for example. I get something very different out of it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. It's fun watching him punch the guy. But by the same token... it's a very different movie to an action movie. It's kind of a light-hearted superhero romp. So, yeah. That was a bit spirally, but I think I got my point across. No, I would. It's especially when something comes out of Asia, because I've seen some really nasty shit out of there, and you kind of they're going, okay, just how gross is that going to be? Actually, it didn't even register to me when they're cutting up corpses. And that's quite nasty, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's more kind of medical drama-y.
There's a lot of death in
you
it.
see that Holby City. There's an awful lot of death in it. That's very good.
Right. Okay. I'm staying clear of you for a bit then.
Again, fake, not in real life.
Okay.
However,
The
Thing I've seen.
You've seen The Thing? Which one? John Carpenter?
I have seen The Thing. It's a wonderful movie. I haven't seen it this month, though.
Oh.
The big one I saw this month, which I went to the IMAX to see last Thursday, was Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it is the best thing I believe I have seen this year. Oh my fucking god.
I want to see it.
I
do want to see it.
Absolutely perfect. You've not seen it yet, right?
No.
I won't spoil it then. What I will say is ignore the critical response. I can understand why they're saying what they're saying, but they didn't say that shit for fucking The Last Jedi, and it's The Force Awakens, and it's basically the same thing, only this has an actual complete fucking story.
Right. Okay.
It is purely a nostalgia thing made for fans of the original who wanted to see a sequel to the original. That is what it is. That's all it tries to be, and it is perfect in that. And I am not too grown up to admit that it actually made me cry. Like, it made a little tear of joy come down my face a couple of times early on. Ghostbusters is one of... It's certainly top 3 favourite movie of all time, and that pretty much depends what mood I'm in. And one of those other ones is every Batman movie ever. So I will say Ghostbusters is as good as literally every Batman movie ever that is good, not the shit ones, obviously. I fucking love Ghostbusters. It is... Yeah, I think it's a perfect movie. And it kind of is the thing I grew up with when a lot of my friends moved over to... You'd have Transformers and this, that, and the other. Ghostbusters was absolutely my thing. And it was absolutely my thing right up to till Turtles took over, in the late 80s or whatever. And then Batman. But I've always gone back and watched Ghostbusters a good once a year.
Can I ask a question?
I follow... Hang on, I'm not finished yet.
Oh, sorry.
I'm nearly done. Oh, fuck off. I still follow the comics of Ghostbusters. When I got Ghostbusters, the video game, the one that had Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis and all those guys from like 2009, that was as big a hug, like as big a nostalgic hug as this movie is. It just absolutely ticked all of my boxes.
Okay.
So yeah, and then there's just a bit towards the end of this movie, and like it had all been building to something, and this thing happens, and like even before it happens you see enough to be like, oh, they're doing the thing, and I just fucking started sobbing. It was just too beautiful and too wonderful and too perfect.
I haven't seen it, but I have ideas what that might be, so I won't comment.
Ghostbusters Afterlife is, if you like Ghostbusters, if you remember that movie fondly, you'll love it. I don't know how someone seeing it for the first time would react to it. I frankly don't care. This was made for long-time Ghostbusters fans like me, and it was amazing. Like I said to my buddy Mark, who's also a massive fan, who I went with, there's a bit where, like, so it focuses on these kids, as well as some adults in the town. And there's a bit where this kid finds the car for the first time, and he's kind of... like, he's starting to pull it back, and you know what's under there because it's the shape. And, like, I said to my mate afterwards, I'm like, I felt like a kid under there. I felt like a kid watching that moment, just going, I know what you're about to find, and it's the most magical thing in the world. And I'm like, there with you, just show me the car. Just show me the car. Oh, there's the logo. Oh, my God. It's just... yeah, it's absolute fan service, but it's also a cohesive and really good movie. Again, take my bias for what it's worth. I am massively biased. I don't fucking care. It's wonderful. Go watch it.
I've got one worry, which I'm hoping you're going to cure. So, do they get the balance correct with the original characters coming in with the new characters?
What do you consider correct?
So, in movies past, when I'm
actually not going to answer that.
Right, okay.
Because saying either way would spoil what it is and what they do with previous characters. All you really need to know going in is it's setting the same universe, so all of those other characters exist.
Right, okay. Because in movies past, when they've tried to do a movie years and years later, where the original cast has got on a bit in the years, they've just given them almost cameo roles just to link the movie, and that pisses me off to the max. I hate it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I really hate it. So I'm really hoping this movie
I do not think they fell into that trap, no.
Oh,
I haven't seen it, but I personally wouldn't expect the old cast to be in it that much. For me, it would be about the new characters discovering the past and like a fresh start. So I again, I've not seen it, so I don't know what's in there. But I would be happy enough if it's mainly the kids, and it's their adventure, but it just sort of links to the past, and it's enough. Is it the same universe? Is all I really need, and that's sort of the carryover and a few. I'd be happy with a few cameos, to be honest. But if it gives a bigger story, all the better.
I only had one thing that I didn't want, and this isn't a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler at all. I said to my mate, the one thing I don't want, because we know it's a new cast, we know it's these young kids finding out about the Ghostbusters, I did not want them to have failed. Because where Adam is saying a lot of these ones where they go back to it and they have just like kind of custom cameos, quite often the reason they're going back to them is because the original versions of the heroes failed and now this new generation have to come up and fix the mistake or whatever.
Right, yeah.
They don't do that. They beat Gozer. They did everything in the first movie. Even the first movie, they won. They're the hero, so they didn't take that away. And then this takes those elements and then crafts its new story on that. But nice. that was the one thing I didn't want. Just like they were all, if it was going to reference the other ones, they were all sad and they lost and this, that, and the other. Because I don't like that in Ghostbusters 2. Like, they start the movie as kind of a joke because no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
But like, even as a kid, I'm like, I'm watching the real Ghostbusters. They're like the best. Why is this a thing? And I know in a movie, you kind of need a hero's journey, and if they're already at the top of their game, the big heroes, and it was quite funny the way they dealt with it. So basically, Walter Peck, after getting the Stay Puft Marshmallow on him, sued the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
But still, I don't like my heroes to have failed, and they don't go in that direction.
Oh, thank God for that.
And Jason,
yes.
I really want to see it again in the cinema. So if you want to go see it,
I do. I did want to go with you, but I couldn't do it that day, so I do want someone to go with. So, yes, absolutely.
Excellent. We'll work out the details once we're off the Dinocast, because, it'll be too late for the other people listening to this to come watch it with us, because this isn't going out for a week. I'm not going to edit it until this weekend.
What? I want this out
behind the
now.
Scenes, jiggery pokery. No.
I thought this was live.
I normally edit it a bit through the night and then finish it off just before it has to go live, and that's why I'm glad it came out today. I've got a whole week. I'll just do it the weekend.
Ooh. Nice. Can I give you some Ghostbusters trivia, which makes me look like an idiot?
I mean, absolutely.
Okay. How long has Ghostbusters been out? Was it 1984 or 80? What was it?
Yeah, it's 1984.
Okay, so we're getting on for nearly. Oh my God, that's longer than I expected. Oh God, okay. That's a long time.
37 years. I
got a joke the other day. I understood a joke from Ghostbusters the other day.
Right.
I have seen this film many, many times. when they're on the roof, and I think it's Egon shouts out, "Aim for the flat top." Did not know what a flat top was. Only worked it out the other day that it's Gozer's haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always assumed that was meant like the stone bench or something. Never thought about it. And then I saw something the other day that was flat top was a haircut and went, oh, that's what they're talking about.
When I was talking about 12 minutes and talking about a mental loop, and that is a true thing in everything. So, like, I've watched Ghostbusters. I must have watched it hundreds of times in my lifetime. And years ago, Nostalgia Critic did a list, and he's like, "Oh, it's shit you've never noticed in Ghostbusters." I'm like, "Yeah, there's literally nothing I've never noticed in Ghostbusters."
Yeah.
And he pointed out a joke I'd never seen before.
Oh.
And it's because my eye was obviously always drawn to the same part of the screen, the same moment in that same movie. It's when Peter is billing the guy in the hotel when they've just caught Slimer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's coming up with all this bollocks that they're charging for. And I'd never noticed this before, but he keeps slyly looking over at Egon. And if you look at Egon, he's rubbing his face and holding up fingers to say how many $1,000 to charge.
Oh, I did know that.
And Peter is... Yeah. And Peter's going off that. And I just, like, literally, you know, this I don't know when Nostalgia Critic did that list, but it was in the last 10 years. I'll still have seen that movie hundreds of times, and I'd never seen that joke. And I said to my mate, I mentioned it to my mate Mark. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that joke." And then I mentioned another one. It's like, I hadn't seen that. I'm like, I'd always seen that one. It's amazing. There's so much in it.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful film.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to see that. I'm up for that. We should go.
Yeah, I'll be able to.
Do you think it was worth the IMAX experience?
Yeah, but I love the IMAX anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, everything I've seen on the IMAX or an IMAX style screen this year has warranted it. So I saw Ghost in the Shell, which is one of the greatest movies of all time. The animated, the 1995 Japanese animated one, not the Scarlett Johansson one. That's an amazing movie. That was worth seeing on the big screen because there's only so much. There's stuff that you can't fully appreciate unless it's on a big screen, and the bigger the better. So that was wonderful. No Time to Die was an excellent movie. Dune, of course, that had to be the IMAX. It's made for IMAX. And then Ghostbusters. Oh, here's the thing about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Right, this is a nerdy thing, yeah? So this isn't a spoiler or anything.
As opposed to everything else, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there watching it, and I swear to God, right, so it's on the IMAX, it's crystal clear. You know it's made with modern digital cameras, but they've put a tint on it, so it actually looks, and the lighting... And they've used the lighting, so it looks like it's filmed on the same film as the original movie. It's got like the same hues and everything. Oh, that was it was an unnecessary touch that I almost immediately noticed, and it warmed my heart.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
So, any other business, gentlemen? Before we wrap up this edition of the Dinocast, anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to add?
No, I think I'm good.
I think I'm spent.
Adam, are you sure there's nothing you want to add?
I do want to add a word.
There we go. What is it this way? What is the real, genuine, actual word that they should definitely put in the comments?
I
We
think
discussed
should.
this. It's got to be grease or bird.
No, I think as we've been talking about Ghostbusters, I think we've got to go back to one of the originals, and I think the word should be Gozer.
Very good. And the fake word?
Twinkie.
Did you say Twinkie or Winky?
I said Twinkie. I'll accept a Winkie.
Okay. Then the fake words are Twinkie and or Winky. Don't put both, because that's a double fake.
Can
and
I
you'll
put
be
Lala
caught
or
out
Poe?
even more. No.
Oh.
Teletubbies are horrifying monsters. I don't know if I should say this on the thing. I was like trying to. I like to do some creative writing sometimes, and I was trying
Okay, where's
to
this going?
because
What have you
I
done?
can't
Fan
do
fiction,
kids,
Teletubbies.
because I can't. I don't really write for kids or anything. I sort of thought, okay, I'll do like a little Teletubby story. I'll see if I can do something like that, and it went really horrifying really quick. Like, so it was like a normal Teletubbies episode. I might not leave this in. This is really dark. And like, but so the thing is, like, they get their TV on their telly, and then it always cuts to a kid at home looking at that particular thing. So, like in a thingy movie, like it would come on a particular kid's TV, and then the Teletubby would put his hand into the TV and like take the little child, and she'd come through on a magical adventure and like go into Teletubby land. Oh wow, it's all real! And basically, the children of that custard that they eat.
Yeah.
Like
Tubby custard, yeah.
Formless pink custard. Yeah, they just kind of grind up kids after tricking them through their tummy tellies. It went unexpectedly dark.
It's not unexpected.
I was trying to
by
write
any
something
means.
nice.
No, there is a very sinister side to the Teletubbies if you just took away the bright and colourful aspect of it.
Yeah,
I've always seen that.
the shapes on the head alone, I mean, jeez.
I find that vacuum a bit creepy, but I've always had a problem with that kind of character. Like Mr. Nosy, I was always a little creeped by. I love the Mr. Men. Like, there's this episode of this show called Towser. Like, I've got a problem with people rifling through my shit, and I've got a bit of a phobia of like overly like aggressively in your face kind of people and characters. Like, it wigs me out when they're kind of like in your business. And like, Towser was this like 80s cartoon, but it wasn't like a He-Man cartoon. It was a British one, so it looked a bit fucking unsettling because we love to horrify our kids over here. And like, there was this episode, and I wigged out just describing it, and there's this thing with a big nose, and it starts rifling through all of Towser's stuff, and Towser's like trying to get him off and trying to get him to stop, and he won't. And like,
found
used to make me
found it.
Yeah,
Towser and the Nosy
it used
Parker.
to make me cry as a child, and like, I was horrified of it, and I was fucking traumatized by it. And like, to this day, that kind of character wigs me out a little bit. Like, to the point that actually I can't remember how I got here because I'm a bit wigged out. Oh, the Hoovy, yeah, because it's got the big nose. It's like, wigged out, wigs me out.
I'd forgotten all about Towser until you mentioned it, and now I realise that's why I draw dogs that way. That's my default way of drawing dogs, is Towser.
I literally only remember Towser because of that childhood trauma.
And it looks a bit like King Rollo, the over animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing where it's all the shapes, isn't it? And they animate around the shapes rather than cell animation.
Well,
They've all got all the parts are cut out and they have them on strings, don't they? And they just draw them around.
there are many episodes on YouTube if you want to check out Towser.
No, I fucking don't.
Including Towser and the Nosy Parker.
No, I really don't. I'm not down to clown with that. That's not going to be the end of our podcast.
I was hoping I'm not down to clown with that. What are you down to clown with? What's your favourite clown?
Quite partial to Krusty.
I've got some ointment for that.
Obviously, I love the Joker, but fuck, I could do without seeing him for about 5 years. He's beyond overused at this point in the comics.
I'd say I like Ronald McDonald, but I don't really like Ronald McDonald.
Who likes Ronald McDonald? He's like a shit clown.
I've got lots of, I suppose not toys, like not memorabilia. I've got lots of junk from McDonald's giveaways that I've never thrown away, which a lot of it is in the
You
shape.
just said you've been in there 3 times this week. No fucking wonder.
No, they've got like DC characters now they're giving away at the moment.
What? Oh, get me some.
There's
Get me a Batman
Batman. There's lots of little stuffed one. I know. You have to get kids' meals for that. I ain't getting kids' meals. I'm getting large. Anyway.
Why don't you get 2 kids' meals? Then I can have 2 toys and you get the same amount of food.
You can go in there.
I don't want to.
For the same reason I don't want to.
I don't go in there and eat that stuff.
You know, like it's the same when I was a kid going to McDonald's, and you just if you're only going for the toys, you have to sort of space it out because they only do your toy you want like every other week, and if you got to space your days right, because you might miss the week it's your week, and then you've missed that one forever. Like I really wanted a Hamburglar pen, and I didn't get it. I got Ronald McDonald twice as a kid. Who wants a Ronald McDonald pen? No, I want a Hamburglar pen. He was my favourite. Anyway, that's my story. So one day I'll be looking out on Antiques Roadshow and someone will have a
I was going to
Hamburglar
say,
pen.
yeah, some of them are worth money. Depends how far back you go.
I was going to quickly check to see if there's a Killer Moth one.
No.
If not, I'll probably not bother going in there.
You'll probably tell me it's not even
Killer Moth
DC.
one- No, it's... what have we got here? You've got... Oh, fuck off. Fucking ads. Cute little... Chibi, Harley, Flash, Cyborg, Supergirl, and Robin.
That's the ones, yeah.
Is that from Hero Clicks? That looks like Hero Clicks.
They didn't look that professional to me. I could see these becoming a collectible, but they didn't look like...
You could see these in a grabby machine on a pier, can't you?
They're not amazing.
Yeah, it's not got a full list for all the ones in it.
Yeah, I'm looking at a
I'm
picture
assuming there's
of
Batman's at the top.
Robin, Superman, Batgirl, Flash, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, Joker, Batman, Cyborg, and Supergirl. Is what I'm looking at.
Oh, you're seeing a different list to me.
I'm not looking at a list.
Anyway,
I'm looking at a picture, and those are the ones in the picture.
I was looking at a picture as well. I was looking at a picture on the McDonald's website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I desperately need them, which I don't, because there's not a Killer Moth one, I can eBay it. I spent 25 quid on a fucking Killer Moth Funko Pop from Teen Titans Go. That's how much I love Killer Moth. It's kind of awesome.
Are you displaying that anywhere?
Yeah, it's on my shelf of junk with all of my other Killer Moth
Shelf
toys.
of junk.
Isn't
There's
one
loads
of our
other stuff.
Isn't one of our subscribers called Killer Moth?
Yeah, someone popped up with that name. I don't know if if they're a subscriber, but they're going to be. Let's put it this way: they're going to be very fucking happy with Lego Batman 2 video. Oh, that is literally. I'm making that just for me, and it's making me really happy just that it exists, despite the incredible. You won't believe the amount of fucking work that went into this. I'm not going to tell you what it is until you guys see it, but what starts the video has already taken me about 9 hours.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, and I'm very proud of it. But yeah, look forward to that in the past if you're this far through the podcast, because it will have been out Monday, and this will come out on the Wednesday after that. So
Nice.
let's wrap this up, shall we?
Yeah.
We have our fake words. They're somewhere in the past. I can't remember them.
Twinkie.
I have been Sean. This has been Adam and Jason. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye,
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
Thank you very much. We will see you. Well, the next podcast will be Christmas Day. That will be the Christmas one. Then there will be the Year in the View. Then there will be the Dinocast 7. Then there will be Dinocast 7. So lots of podcasts coming up. Look forward to Christmas, where we will have your back with content. And
I watched all the Home Alone films.
Yeah, that's your homework. By the next Dinocast, you must watch all of the Home Alone movies. There will be a quiz.
Bye-bye.
See ya.